This is Noel Durham, the AKA Crazy Mountain Man, as he sets up his tent for the Montana 2020 Rendezvous shoot. Let's have a look at what a mountain man camp looks like as it comes together.
So the mountain man has set up his small camp for now. We're going to have another tent included, but this is a Baker tent, Baker Wheeling. And you can see the awning is out. And I've utilized trees to attach the tent to all the way around. I'll show you the inside here in a minute, but this is a really good tent for a lot of things. You can see the awning sits out a long ways, as much as the tent itself, and it comes down and closes in front of the door of storm or whatnot. But this particular tent is set up, as you can see, attached into the trees. Got some firewood over there. We're out in the woods. We're 1.5 miles or so from the highway, so you might hear sounds on occasion. But other than that, we're relaxed and having a good time. We're just setting up our camp here in northwest Montana, and you can see the smoke from the campfire. I had to have a fire. I'll back up far enough to show you. I had to have a fire to get rid of all the downed trees that were up there. So all this is getting ready to go, and our campfire, that'll be the spot for it. And then I'll show you the other tent here in a little while. So here's the inside of the tent. It's not huge, but it's fairly good size. I use log posts for my interior structure, and I've got a couple of 2x down there for bracing at the bottom and on both sides to keep the structure together and holding upright. It can stand up by itself without ropes. However, with ropes it does a great job. So that's the inside of the tent.
The interior of the tent is very sparsely furnished, but for the cold Montana nights, he's got the big buffalo blanket on the bed and a bit of gear inside, keep everything out of the weather, and a few little trinkets, handmade mountain man tools. So now let's look at the second tent as the camp grows.
Okay, this is the second tent I put up here. This is a 8x12, I believe it is, wall tent. Not a very big tent. I've had it for many years. It's got some good coloration to it, as well as some rips and tears that I'll be fixing this week. I made these poles today and put those up. Utilize the natural setting and of the hooking it up as far as getting the post. I use a double post, so if I wanted to, I could put an extra tarp over the top for waterproofing. And I'll go from the side here. So you can see it's tied down. The roof is tight, which is what you want. The sides look like they're not as tight, but the roof itself is tight, and that's what you want to have for it. As far as interior wise, it's not really big, but 8x12 I believe is what it is. And we'll have a couple of the kids here in the next couple days staying in it and teaching them as well. So anyway, this is the wall tent, standard wall tent. I have a stove that we can put to the side of it and then put the heat inside there if we needed to. So again, put all this together today.
It was fortunate that Noel had completed the 2 tents in camp before the weather turned. It's not that unusual to have springtime in Montana turn to snowy white. So let's rejoin Noel now as his springtime shoot turns into winter camp.
Okay, I'm here at my winter camp. Well, it's supposed to be a spring camp, but it's a winter camp. I have my stove outside for cooking because we are in bear country and grizzly bears, and yes, it's a mountain man camp, but the last thing I want to do is draw on a bear. So it's my camp, or my cook area, pots and pans and different things in it. So there's my stove. I have it set up, pipe going up so that the heat goes away from me as well as the smoke. That's the tent we were in, and so I put the awning down because the awning, the snow was falling too hard, that heavy snow, Didn't want to have a problem, so I took it down. Extra protection for me inside as well. So I go in from the side. Then this is the cabin tent. Now over there we have the hawk blocks and stuff we'll do later, but we got to get the fire going here in a minute. We are making lunch. I'll show you that in a minute. Smoke down inside there. I don't know if you can see it. I've got a piece of copper tubing, and what we're going to do is we're going to get to the ashes down here. And you see them down there underneath there? The copper tubing has a hole in the bottom of it. And what we're doing is we're just getting heat into there, and I'll put some fines in there and it'll take right off. So I've got the stew cooking. It's my kitchen over there. I put my awning up on my tent, so we'll be able to put stuff in. Of course, got the fire going. The blocks are moved over so that they'll heat up from the fire, melt all the snow off the top of them. And there's my wall tent over on this side. I put the tarp out to dry in the sun. The sun's out now. So that's what those poles sticking out for, or hang stuff off of to dry. Lanterns out, both places for nighttime. Of course, there's the kitchen. Have a little forge here that we might play with here later, but right down here, we'll set that up here in a little bit, maybe tomorrow. Anyway, that's the setup.
I hope you enjoyed that. I know I did. I found it very interesting. And look out for the future videos that I'm making that around the Montana black powder shoot of 2020. Rendezvous or Rendezlone. If you enjoyed this type of content, don't forget to like, share, and make comments below. And we'll see you in the next video of the Crazy Mountain Man's Rendezvous Shoot 2020.
This is like a cocoon.
What comes out of a cocoon?
Butterflies.
Are butterflies beautiful?
Yeah.